All right. So today we are going to talk about your website, the must-haves for a website, and kind of some general web design best practices. So I'm going to run through them super, super quick, and then I'm going to actually share my screen, and I'm going to show you some real-world examples. And I'm going to use my work instead of just stuff. Usually I try and use stuff off of the internet, but I just wanted to give you very specific examples of what I've done in the past that I know has worked. So let's get to it. So number one rule for creating your website now that you are a business owner is that regardless of your specialty, this is not a portfolio. This is a website. It is a sales page. It is a sales tool. Your website essentially acts as a salesperson for your business. It's oftentimes the first interaction somebody has with your brand, and it's the first conversation that you have them. You're just not having it one-on-one. So you need to think of that in mind. Think about the first impression that somebody's going to get from your website and make sure that it's congruent with what you want to be known for and your expertise, and that it communicates that well. So copy is going to be really important. Copywriting. If you suck at copywriting, take a course, hire someone, do whatever you need to do because you need clear and compelling copy. Okay, it's really, really, really important. It's actually probably one more important than the design is a really good text. And then there are some little practices you can do in terms of breaking up copy and adding more white space to make copy more powerful, but you have to have a good base to start. So make sure that you spend time on the copy, whatever you do, that it's clear and compelling, and get feedback. Ask a friend to review it, ask for feedback. Okay, so other must-haves. You need to have an instant kind of hit of what it is that you do and who you do it for. It should be like immediately obvious because there's about a 3-second window when somebody hits your website before they decide to either continue or they leave. 3 seconds. So you have 3 seconds to capture somebody's attention. So make sure that you do that. So that's what we call above the fold, is that first piece of a website that you see immediately. You want to take absolute advantage of that space and make sure that it's clear and compelling and gets them to take action or keeps scrolling. Again, excellent copywriting is going to help you there. Your tagline that you created back in the branding module or the brand workshop that's a perfect place to use it. If you've done a good job with your tagline, you just throw that shit right in there and maybe add some supporting details and a really nice image, and you're good to go. Good copy, tagline. You need a super easy way for people to contact you. I cannot emphasize this enough. Is one of my pet peeves. If I go to a website and it's really, amazing, like I want to work with this person, I want to take the action, and then the action is like, write an email to X, Y, and Z. I am too lazy for that shit. And I'm an active web user. Somebody that is not an active web user is even lazier than I am. We are lazy people when it comes to internet use. Make it so easy that they don't have to take extra action. Don't make them copy your email and open up a different window and blah, 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 like go through all of these hoops. Have a form. Fill it out. Even better, use Calendly, calendly.com. You can get a free account and set up a couple of days with blocks of hours a week that people can book consultation calls with you. And it's just, it's a 15-minute consultation call. Like, contact me, schedule the appointment, and then you talk through their problem on the phone, and then you create a bid for them. Make sense? Like, just make it super easy, whatever it is you ask them to do. I was initially going to walk you through creating multiple calls to action on your website, including like doing an email list. I've decided not to do that at this point. I will go into that in a bonus content later in the course, simply because I want you to focus on getting the people in the door first. As a new business owner. So other next practices, lead the reader where you want them to go on the website. So you can do that visually. I'll just talk through that as the actual walkthrough. Make sure that your calls to action are clear and compelling. So again, don't say, send me an email, right? You say, fill out this form to request your free consultation. Click this button to do X, Y, or Z. Like, make it beneficial and make it clear what to do and why they would want to, right? Like, click here does nothing. Click here to instantly book. Okay, I might want to do that, right? Just make sure it's clear. Only show your best work. This is particularly for those of you that are visual. If you're a photographer or a designer, illustrator, etc., don't show every project. In fact, you should narrow it down to like 3 to 5 max, or 1. Like if you only have one project that's absolutely outstanding, only show 1. It's okay. You don't have to have a huge plethora of work if you know how to talk about the work and the results that you've gotten. I had that issue when I started the last business. I had been working with a couple of startups that were early stage, and I'd done some really amazing work, but it was all under IP. It was all protected. I couldn't share it because they hadn't launched. And so I was like, well, shit, I can put like old work, I can put my Nike t-shirts on here, but that's not really going to work for user experience design. So it's okay. You don't have to have a ton of information on your site. So do that. And then you want to add credibility and expertise with logos, with brands. If you've worked at big names like Nike, put their logo on your website. If you've been in articles online or publications, that sort of add credibility, add expertise. Also show your personality. Show who you are, have photos of yourself, and talk about your hobbies and the things you do, particularly as they would relate to your ideal client. Because your ideal client has a personality too. We like to think that, business is business and it has to be all business, but we all have personalities. We're people interacting with people. That's what business is. And it's an exchange of energy between people. So have a personality. And in the future, you want to look at potentially creating a blog with a variety of content that speaks directly to your customer, creates value, and that's also going to bring in traffic to your website. So, if your client is searching for how to hire a web designer, you might want to have a post that's like how to hire a web designer, right? And gives them the best strategies, and then says, hey, check me out, book a call here, and we'll talk through it. Okay. So with that, I'm going to just run through some real world examples. That's the end of the lesson. So if you're pretty confident with your website, you don't have to keep watching. But you might want to, because I'm pretty good at what I do. Okay. New screen recording. Let's go. Weird effect where we're recording my face. All right, so I've got just a couple of websites here that I have designed in the past, either for myself or for clients. So you may or may not have seen this. Sometimes I have it active, sometimes I don't. It depends on my availability. But this is on 6-Figure Freelancers. And, the idea behind this is my ideal client is kind of, you guys. Early stage freelancers or consultants, coaches, etc., that need a website but don't have a huge budget, right? So simple, affordable, beautiful websites for freelancers, consultants, and coaches. That's who I do it, or what I do, who I do it for. Is your website losing your money? I'll help you transform it into a beautiful sales page. And then a clear call to action, which if I click this, it should open up directly to booking form. Right? So it made it super easy. They don't even have to continue scrolling. And that's a good thing that I should talk about here. There's 2 types of people when it comes to web activity. There's left brain and right brain people, and I can't remember which one is which, but one would see that and immediately just be like, I want it done, boom, give me the booking button, and they'll take the action. And then there's others that need to scroll, and then they're going to read everything on your website, then you're going to come back, they're going to think about it, then they're going to go to lunch, and then they're going to come back, and then maybe they'll take action, that sort of thing. Like the purchase behavior. It hinges on your left and right brain. Really interesting stuff. So anyway, for freelance business, it's potentially a good idea to include this right away. I do that here. I don't always do it on my coaching sites, and I'll go into that in a different one. Anyway, then you want to talk a little bit about the benefits of what you do or the actual services you provide. Here I've gone benefits, right? A good website is going to make you the expert. It's not a portfolio. It's a sales page. It's something you're proud of. You don't have a website shame, that sort of thing. Benefits, again, building a website's never been so easy. It's like basically you don't have to do anything. You just hire me and talk through what you want. I create it. Then you're going to have something that talks about you and your experience and why, you're the best person for the job at hand. And for me, here I talked about, I think I talked about like after 10 years of building websites, like I can do this stuff in my sleep. So I can help you really quickly. And then you go into maybe your product or your service or a case study, right? This is kind of a branch, actually. Normally for like design, I do a case study and you'd have a website or whatever, and you'd have the results and whatever. And then this, I just kind of talked about what I'm actually offering. So this is more, you get a versatile choice. You get to choose the platform. Do you want WordPress, Squarespace, blah, blah, blah. It's mobile optimized. It's ready to sail and it's ready to go. And then I have a few examples of my work. And in this case, I use these cool little plugins so you can actually scroll through and sometimes and see the site. And then packages are really great. We talked about that in the pricing module, right? I really like the starting at packages because it doesn't box you in, but it gives people an idea. And if it's absolutely out of their wheelhouse, they're going to go and not waste your time, because our tendency, I think, when we're early on in business is like, well, I need to have all the conversations I can have. But the truth is you don't want to do that, because if you're consistently having conversations with somebody that does not and cannot pay you, you are going to waste so much time on them that you could be spending on clients that can. So, in this case, with this particular website, I'll do a basic website starting at $7.99, which frankly is a bargain over what I normally do with this. Like, I've made some trade-offs with this program. I'm offering it really, really cheap for my clients because I want to serve my clients. But in exchange, you don't get a lot of say in the output. Like when I do custom websites for my startup clients, which start at $12.99 for the same thing, they get to kind of tell me what they want and what features and all of that. And this is kind of like you tell me who you are, who your client is, and I'm going to give you the basic website that I want to give you. It's a super simple kind of templated website, so it's a different service. Anyway, point is, I just kind of talk through the basic packages, right? And then again, another book, a consultation, which I've noticed since I rebranded, I kind of effed up the colors on this. These should really stand out. So you want to actually make your buttons stand out more. So that should actually be a gold button. So it's like really bright and grabs your eye. And then everything on the page leads to the one action I want you to take, which is to book a consultation, right? So that is an example of just a super simple single page website that would be effective. This is the website that I used with my startup design or consulting business, the one that I earned $120,000 from my living room. So I will caveat that with, I got a lot of business from LinkedIn. And I'll do a walkthrough of a LinkedIn profile at some time for you as well. I highly recommend you use LinkedIn. Put all of your keywords in there. I got a lot of business from LinkedIn. But everybody from LinkedIn came to this website. This is where they ultimately booked, right? So you want to have the systems that bring in the traffic. And then once you're there, you want to wow them and make it immediately obvious why they should hire you and what action to take. So again, you come on in, you've got, boom, killer design for websites. Or for startups, that's what I do, from running websites, blah, blah, blah. That's my tagline. This is a lot of just keyword stuff. And again, this shouldn't actually be that dark. It's been a long time since I looked at this stuff. So a lot of this is actually for SEO, but it also, it uses the language that my clients would use. And so they know that I speak their language. Again, we've got a call to action here. They can click that and work. Then I go into, this is a social proof section or a bragging section. And it's basically, it's just, these are the results that I've gotten, right? First, I go into social proof. I show the actual companies that I've worked with, these big brand names that people might recognize. If you're in the space, you may not, if you're not in the Valley, you've probably never heard of Gen Y. But if you are, that could be a good name, right? I also have another link, all of these little ways to contact me, they all go essentially to the same spot. But I've gotten product design awards, 5-star user ratings, blah, blah, blah. These are results that I get that if you hire me, you could get these results too, is basically what I'm saying here. Then I use a testimonial to further enhance that. We lead into packages. Again, very similar, like starting at, $2,000, starting at $4,000, starting at 10. And it really just depends on what they need. And you don't need to go into super detail on your website. You just need to give enough information that they're interested in learning more if it's a good fit for their business, right? You're just kind of weeding out. Again, schedule a free 30-minute consultation. This was my portfolio section. I had one big piece and then 4 small pieces, and really, frankly, not the best work. But the case study work, I talked about the big things that they might want to know, that it was role-based design. Like that was big for my clients because they wanted to know that somebody could handle this complex system. So complexity and innovative. My ideal clients really wanted innovation and good design and happy clients and that sort of stuff. So these are keywords for them that resonate. And then, just some smaller items. And I don't think these even link anymore. Like I had set it up and I was going to do case studies for all of these. And I never did. And I never had to. This is your about. In the next lesson, you're going to start on this. You're going to create the base content that will ultimately be used in kind of your about me section. Really important to distinguish that your about me section is a little bit different than the about your business. And particularly for you that are coaches, different. You've got an about me, you've also got an about. An about typically is about your client. It's about what you do for your client, right? It's about the services that you create for your client. But your about me is kind of your expertise, your special sauce. And I've modified this basically into my coaching thing, but it's kind of similar stuff. It's like I've worked in startups and product design for a long term. I have some personality stuff here. I'm a photographer and an animal lover, blah, 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 blah. Talk a little bit about travel. Have some other ways for them to contact me if they want to also stalk me. I have some examples of my photography. And then again, my last section is basically the booking and the contact, right? So contact I have all really going here. I don't really want people to email me. I have it on there in case they need to, but typically I really want them to book. So everything points to this booking form. And when they click it, they can do so instantly. Assuming my internet works, there we go. Do so instantly right here using that Calendly setup. They can pick a day that works for them. They can pick a time that works for them. Blah, 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 blah. So there you go. Another single page website. We'll do 2 more. So first we'll do Jess. So Jess is a writer and a coach in Portland. And I want to do her because I know we do have some coaches and some things are a little different for coach. So she has this first entry page and I debated on leaving it there, but I really just liked it. So once you actually get in here, again, it's a single page site. She helps writers write. It's like that simple. She's got some really great imagery. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to share this, particularly for those of you that are coaches. If you are in a personal coaching position, personal or business coaching position, but where you are working one-on-one with a person who is typically your client versus a bigger business, like even if it's an entrepreneur, like I work with entrepreneurs, but I do it on a one-on-one basis. We talk about personal stuff. Your personality and you becomes much more important to your business. People hire personal coaches based on their personal relationship with the coaches. So you've got to learn to be seen, and you're going to need to invest in some good photography. Just saying. So this is Jess. She helps writers write. She tells a little bit about her story. And again, she did a really great job here, is that her story is, sorry, my phone's going off. Her story is really not about her. She had a story to tell for decades, but she didn't know where to start. She's telling her client what they're going through. She's telling the story to her client. She did nothing for years. It wasn't until she invested in herself and hired a coach, me, that her writing became consistent and flourished, right? Then she does events. So events are really important for her. So she has that sort of stuff and workshops on here. And And then she has her packages. Again, she helps writers write more, write better, write now with confidence. And she has her starting sections. She didn't do prices because her prices are changing. She's brand new. And so they're, changing regularly. But she has immediately, again, click to contact me for a free consultation. And then she's got a contact form. So, if somebody's not ready to actually book, because sometimes with coaching, that's the other thing that I wanted to go over these 2 coaching sites with. Sometimes with coaching, people aren't quite ready to jump in. It's scary. I haven't figured this out. I know there's psychology there, but I'm not a psychology major and I don't know what it is. But people are scared to book with a coach. It's kind of like it's a commitment that they're not ready to make, because maybe then they have to admit that something needs to change. I don't know. So it's kind of nice that in her case, she has a contact me form for people to just send her an email or a message and ask for more information. So another great example of websites. And this one, also good to know, this is in Squarespace. So we'll talk about this in the 3rd lesson for this module. But Squarespace is super easy to use. You get a great looking website with very little effort. So if you're not a designer, you're not techie, tech scares you, Squarespace is an excellent option. And the last one that we'll do today is Kirsten Swales. This is my online naturopath. She's based in Bali and does all of her business online. Again, big imagery. Again, statement, benefits-driven statement. Go from bloated to brilliant. Beat IBS and binge eating. Heal your gut. Heal your life. Get my top tips. This is her call to action to get people to join her email list or book a consult. So she has 2, which, as I said, I was initially going to teach you how to do it, but I want you to focus right now on just booking a consult since you're early on. If you happen to already have a list builder and a lead magnet, then you can do this. And she has like an opt-in here, and there's also one that pops down. But then she kind of goes into the what if, and this is the about, right? This is not the about her, it's the about the client. It's what if I told you could have more time, energy, and freedom in your life without needing a time machine and 5 cups of coffee, right? It's compelling copy. This is the power of copy. You want your client to be going, yes, that's me, this is what I need. I don't want to have to spend time worrying about what to eat anymore, blah, 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 blah. Packages, 6-week tune-up, 3-month reboot, 6-month body rebuild. Let's chat. Book a conversation, complimentary 15-minute call. Personality, we've got her playing with her fruits and vegetables. She's a really quirky girl. She's fantastic. And sitting by the pool and kind of having this luxurious life. Testimonials, important. Working with Kirsten has changed my life. Want results like Mia? Book now. Clear, compelling call to action. More testimonials. Really, really important, particularly, again, for those of you that are more in the personal coaching side, or if you end up in like the blogging side or something like that, where your personality has more to do with anything. You want to talk about your results. You want to get testimonials from other people and build that proof. The about me. She goes basic. She should actually have in here, probably her education would be powerful for her, but she just basically, this is who she is, why she got started. She got started because she had these issues too. And then you can go and read her story. And it tells that whole thing. Video works really well. Again, particularly for personal coaches, highly recommend you start playing with video and getting used to being on camera. And then she's got some blog stuff. Join the inner circle again. She's added a few things here. She does a weekly Q&A on Facebook, so you can like this and join her there. Again, opt in or book a consult. So everything on here, for the most part, with the exception of the links to read her deeper story, are going to lead to getting the top tips or booking a consult. So simplify with your website. I think there's still kind of a tendency for a lot of people when they're getting started to try and do everything, and I can't have a website unless I have 16 pages of content, and everything needs to be on its own page with all of this crazy amazing content. In fact, do the opposite. Single page website to start. with Kirsten, that was a great webpage to get a consult. She doesn't need an about me page. She didn't need the whole work with me page, right? You could just do that. Now I'm gonna walk through the last one. I know I said that was the last one. I'll do one more, just as a slightly different example. So this is new, and frankly, my website needs a little work, so I've been playing with it, right? It had gotten a little off track because I had split my clients. My business was building too much, and I was trying to talk to two different audiences. So what I've tried to do here is I've created a landing page where when you come to capepro.com, you're prompted, are you ready to quit your job to start an online consulting business? If you do this, it's going to take you to the quiz, which ultimately takes you to Six Figure Freelancers, which is the separate site. Separate clients, separate site. Otherwise, if it's really about me that you want, you can continue, and then there are more options for getting in. But it's a similar thing. Book a consult, right? I've narrowed it down to the actions that you can take. I talk about who I help. I help new entrepreneurs thrive in life and business. Instead of losing time and money, you're going to know what you're going to do. You're going to stop wasting your time. You're going to level up your life and business. You can then go and learn and work more. And I think I may actually change that to book now. But I also have top tips. Get my top tips, and it's going to open up a broken modal window. Oh, yay. Yeah, that shouldn't work. But anyway, work in progress, right? Progress, not perfection. But get my top tips. And then I've got the proof here. These are press things that I've been featured in. I've got the Imagine piece again. This is about my client. Oh, I think maybe that's what's going on. My internet might be down. Testimonials. There's another testimonial here that's not loading properly. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. Australia has some of the slowest internet in the world. Did you know that? It surprises me. So there's actually a great testimonial there. More images with personality. Again, photography is my hobby. Me in different places. I talk a lot about the freedom to work anywhere. So it makes sense that I would highlight that. There's something there that I don't know. And then there's normally a picture here. And my about me, my biography, it brings in kind of the expertise. This is your place to brag about the results that you've gotten and the high-end experience that you have. So if you've worked with a corporation, put their name in here, Nike, Ricoh, Apple, blah, blah, blah. If you have education, put in your degrees, your certifications in here, etc. If you have volunteer funds or experience, put that stuff in there. And, this is a place where you can have some other links to what you do. In this case, all of these websites are mine. Like I have this goes to Killer Design for Startups, which is where we started, Six Figure Freelancers, Kick-Ass Shop, etc. It's probably still a little muddled. I think I could streamline this more and make it even more book a consult. And then at the end, I did something else, which was learn more about Six Figure Freelancers, right? Because I've realized that I want to promote this program more than one-on-one consulting. And so I've tried to, whenever possible, when it makes sense, get people there. But I don't promote my one-on-one consultation to the same client that I promote Six Figure Freelancers, because they're two very different people. So anyway, so that is a lot of information for you. Like I said, web design is it's kind of just intuitive for me at this point. So if you have questions, if you have specific questions about platforms or what to do or how to do something, let me know. Post in the Facebook group, email me, that sort of stuff, and let me know what sort of future trainings you would need. But in the meantime, really, I just want you to start thinking about what needs to be on your website. And we're going to do that in the next lesson. You're going to start planning some of the content. We'll see you there.